Hello everyone and welcome to a new series I am doing called Viper Cup. This is exactly what it's going to be. Me versus the AI in rFactor. So let's get the race started. Here are all those restricted V10s because it was Le Mans. Or was it? What was the other one that's like Le Mans but isn't? I can't remember. So I got a bad start and I'm also in 23rd. Otherwise known as the very last car. So we are at Mosport here. This is my very first track well, not the very first track I've raced on in rFactor, but for a series like this is the first. So I tried to mix up the amount of cars, so there's some blue and yellow cars here, so it's not just blue, and blue, because I wanted it to be fair. Now, as I said, I got a really so to be fair, that doesn't compare to what happens later on in the race, but yeah. So I'm here just fighting my way through the pack. I wanted to keep it fair, so I was trying not to go all out because I have the AI set to a competitive but not totally impossible mode because there's like 20 cars here. Well, just over 20 cars. So basically in the series, I'm going to try it. I really want to try to race fairly, and that's why the AI aren't going as fast as they possibly can because I'm not the best at these cars, well, this Viper specifically, but yeah, I wanted to keep things fair. But as I did a few practice runs at this race and I got pretty good, and wow, bit of lag. But yeah, so I'm definitely not going as fast as I possibly can here in comparison to what I have done before. But let's move up the field here. There we go. Let's find a yellow car actually. There we go. So this is probably the race for first. Let's see if it is. Oh, second. Okay. So yeah, all the yellow cars are at the top of the pack. So all the blue ones have fallen back, sadly. But yeah, the yellow cars here seem to be really dominating this race in terms of position. I mean, there's a lot more blue cars, but the yellow ones were doing a lot better. So I don't know if it's possible, but the yellow AI might have been able to do better than the blue AI or Dominic Farnbacker in comparison to Mark Gossi, is it? Whatever. So yeah, I was very far back. I wasn't having it was fun, and this was like a 10-lap race or so not very short. But yeah, I had a bad launch, and I was trying to get through fairly, but I was doing pretty well. But the thing about these cars is they don't like to drift. If you get in a slide, you're basically done. So there's a few instances where I catch it, but for the most part, you never catch it. It just doesn't happen. So this is the battle for second place with Mark and Dominic fighting out through the turns, going as fast as they can. There were a few battles here and there. Let's go. So this is the guy in first, or the other Mark. Well, the other Mark. He was having a good race. I don't think he slipped up anywhere, so he basically just ran away from the field here. No one. I wasn't able to catch him. You know, I really wanted to give him a good battle by trying to catch him, but I just spun out way too many times during this race, so I couldn't. This is probably me all the way. Oh wait, no, it's not. So I must have passed a few people then. How far did I get? Oh yeah, at this stage of the race, I was, 15th, 14th. So I was doing pretty good. I made it from 23rd to almost 13th here in a matter of 3 laps, so that was good. But yeah, a few cars, as you can see, they're running wide. It's not a small track, Mosport, but there's a lot of Vipers here, and I mean a lot of Vipers here, so not really call an easy race, especially for me. So for the most part, all these races in the upcoming episodes are I'm gonna try and make them somewhere at like 10 laps. Originally, after this race, I was gonna try and do the Nürburgring at 10 laps, and no. I mean, I kept spinning out. I was able to catch the AI here and there, but it didn't go well. So for the Nürburgring, it'd probably be like 5 laps or so because it just took so long. Most of these videos, I'm gonna try and keep it under 15 minutes so that it's still interesting. Because for the most part, it's only Vipers here. I was also gonna try and get the Red Viper here from the World Endurance Championship thing, the West mod. Sadly, I couldn't get these cars and that car to play nicely, annoyingly, because I guess it's because both of those cars were Vipers, and they were similar skins and whatever, so they just kept glitching. So sadly, yeah, you see, this is exactly where I start messing up. But anyway, sadly, I couldn't get those cars just because it was going to be blue, yellow, and red. So it didn't work. But if anyone could tell me how to fix it, because I was also going to try and just add the skin from that car to these cars, that didn't work either. But if anyone would like to tell me how I'm supposed to do it, please do, because I have absolutely no idea how to do it. I tried everything in my power that I knew how to do in order to do it, and it just didn't work. But anyway, so as you can see here, I dumped myself all the way back into 23rd, quite unlucky. And see, now I think this is running flat out through these turns. I was doing like 120 through here, so I was really speeding through. I was flying. Problem being, I was kind of indecisive here. I wanted to catch them, but to keep the race interesting, because I knew if once I got up, I'd start taking places like that. I decided, maybe I should catch up, but not catch up too quickly. So here is the race for first. Dominic made it up and is now catching back up to the guy in first. Now, as you can tell, there are different blue cars. Some of them have bigger spoilers and some of them don't. Like this yellow car here has the same spoiler as some of the blue cars don't. And oddly, the reason for that being, apparently there were different classes. I don't know if that has anything to do with the West mod, but I decided to roll with it. But ironically, I couldn't get the yellow versions of these cars here, which was irritating. But I decided, as far as I could tell, the wing and decals only make a big difference, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so this battle was pretty good. I didn't get to see it because I was pretty much gone. Again, not a good race for me. But yeah, there's a lot of cars behind these. I mean, just look at this I mean, it's like animals trying to find out. Then that lonely yellow car, or yellow Viper, getting caught up. So there were a few groups like this, like these three ones here. But other than that, it was actually pretty tight, because if we go back here a little bit further, oh yeah, see, here's the different ones. You see, it was actually a fairly large group of cars. They weren't catching the cars ahead at all. They were just in their own little race. So it was interesting for them, whereas anyway, so we got a battle going on here. What is the battle for? It's the battle for 15th place. Dominic is ahead of another Dominic, except the other Dominic is, wow, try saying that five times fast. But anyway, the other Dominic is hot on the heels of the, we'll call it the pre-update Viper. The post-update Viper is on the heels of the pre-update Viper, but he's not close enough to make the move stick. He's not close enough to make the overtake. Now we're getting onto the long straight where all the V10s are roaring past the trees, even though they all sound absolutely identical. A lot of cars to render in. Now over a little hill, and here we are. Oops. Here we are coming to the turn. Now, these guys were going, wow, sorry for the lag. Most of these guys were going through the turns about as fast as I was, but when I was really pushing, I could do, I believe, 130 or so I was going much faster. As I told you guys, the yellow ones were really just steaming ahead. So here we're following the Forza-sponsored Viper that actually you can get in Forza 4 if you have the DLC and Xbox Live, and if you still bother to have an Xbox 360 anyway. Ooh, there's a battle going up in front, two cars going wide. Ooh, is he gonna back out? He's gonna back out? Oh, that's an interesting move from the AI. Oh, and another car is gonna try and go wide. He's gonna try and make it two in a row, and he's done it. Ooh, many cars are passing the slow one on the inside. That is interesting. Uh-oh, they're going too wide. He's going too wide. Is he gonna make the move stick? What's going? Fight about. Whoa! 4 cars going too wide through here. Ooh. They're not going single file. He bumped the other one. Oh, he spun out. Well, almost spun out. Oh, dearie me. Though, to be fair, he didn't do as bad as I did. In fact, that might have been me. Where am I? Here I am. So, at this stage, what was it, lap 4? No, lap 7. So, at this stage, I had already caught up pretty good. I was fighting really hard to catch up. I was gonna try and dive into the turn, but I decided that I was too far back, and I kind of compromised my line a little bit there. But here we go, snaking through these S turns. A little bit of irony there. Play on words a little bit. Ooh, I was gonna try and go up the inside, but again, I was just too far back. I couldn't get a good enough run out of the turn. However, on this turn, I was also faster than the AI, so I wanted to go to the outside. I really tried to go as wide as I could to give him space, and it was really difficult because there just wasn't a lot of track. I wanted to go to the inside there, but I was just going too fast, and I made the car push wide. Went to the outside there, a little bit of glitching, but that's fine. Now I'm... Sorry, something's trying to catch up. Doing my absolute hardest to get through. This turn is scary to go too wide. As you saw, I tried to go to the outside as best I could. I tried to go too wide there as well, but the AI made his car wide, and there was no way I could see for me to pass. Here we come to the back straight, and I actually put a more handling-based setup on my car, so I think some of the AI cars were faster than me on the straight. In fact, a lot of them were, but coming to the turn, as you can see here, came in with a lot of speed. Oh, I got a little bit tail happy. Oh, but I saved it. Going through here. That corner there, I was sort of hit and miss. Sometimes I was good and sometimes I wasn't, which wasn't brilliant, as you can imagine. So here's a big gap, and I really was trying to capitalize on the fact that there was a gap so I could go as fast as I could without having to be held back by the AI, and I was going the wrong way. So that's me again. 18. So let's front. Here is the 3-pack Vipers again. So we did on a 6-pack. Get it? Get it? Because abs and fine. So these guys were racing pretty good. They stayed together, I believe, throughout the entire race, but it was pretty empty. This cat was hanging with them pretty good. I think that was me in the background making that accident. Okay. So we had a yellow Viper here, all on his lonesome with another Viper, which was the post-update one. Going through here. I don't know if he's going to make a dive. Is he going to dive? Is he going to dive through? No, he's not. Ooh. He did really good through that turn. Catching up to the guy in front a little bit. You see how many yellow Vipers are here? As I said, the yellow Vipers really dominated at the front of the pack. It was mostly them, and that was it. So it was basically a yellow dominated. Well, in terms of groups, I think there were way more blue cars than yellow cars, but in terms of positioning, the yellows had beat the blues hands down. There was a blue car, but he was trying his absolute hardest to fight and win the race. But there was a lot of... I mean, look at that. The last blue car is probably maybe top 7, top 8. He's a long way behind. So Dominic right now is trying his hardest to defend against Mark. Ooh, Mark is close. Is he going to go to the inside? Not quite. Going back through the back straight, a lot of yellow cars here. It's blue, yellow, 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 blue, and then just a horde of blue afterwards. Quite a shame, really. This race was kind of tight, but it was definitely separated into 2 groups. You were either top 10 or you were a nobody. That was about it. You were either racing or just trying to make your mama proud. That was it. It was quite separated racing going on here. So Dominic is managing to keep his place. And another Dominic. So where am I then? Oh, I must have fallen back again because I must have spun. So here I am in 19th. It took me, put it this way, after I think I spun or crashed twice or even 3 times on this race, I had managed to keep, I believe, at the very best, above the 20s, which was nice. But still, I wanted to be in top 10, but I could not catch them fast enough. They were just too far ahead. As fast as I was through the turn, which was a shame, but I was trying my hardest to make a good move. Here I was braking later. I was trying to go around the outside. I made the move stick, but then he was on my inside. Ooh, that was a good move from me. So here I am with the rest of them. 17th. So that's me, right? Well, not there, but... So as you can see, a lot of blues. There's still some packs of 3, packs of 4. Occasionally there are packs of 6, I believe. Going right through this turn, going through very smoothly. A little bit of brakes, a lot of lags, there's a lot of cars. I think were we nearing the end of the race? I think so. I think I might have made this like 12 laps for this because of how fast the track is. I know I said I'd try to keep it under 20 minutes, but even I didn't think that this would be as long as it is. Ooh, he's gonna go to the inside. He made it stick. Another guy's gonna go to the inside. Oh, a little bit of a bump. Now he's on the outside for the next turn. Is he gonna make it work? Is he gonna? No, he's not. Ooh, another guy's on the outside. What a shame. So here we see the rest of the Vipers and then this lonely one trying to catch up to the Yellows, even though he wasn't doing too well. Well, who am I to speak? I was doing terribly. You see all those blue cars? There were more blues than yellows, but the Yellows, I'm telling you, they placed a lot better than we and I did. So who was the one that just had an off? So I'm still in 19th. Kind of would have thought I would have made up the place, but whatever. Going through the back straight again. Getting up to 140. Almost 150. 150 down the back straight. I think this was another time I was going to try and dive up the inside. But again, I just was not close enough. Eventually he backed off, which meant I could take the place. Now I'm in, 18th. Following the 3 cars ahead of me. Tried to get a run off it. I hit the apex pretty badly, so that unsettled the car. So here I am going as fast as I can through this turn. In turn 1, I was about equal with the AI. I made my overtake stick. I was a little bit too wide for comfort, but it worked. So now I had a lot of space to go absolutely flat out. I didn't have to worry about any AI, when they were going to brake, nothing. This was when I could really push without having to restrain myself from getting into the back of another car. Coming into the next turn. This turn was not very good for me. Occasionally I get it right, but again, it was very hit and miss. This turn, though, you had to be very careful, because as I just demonstrated right there, if you... Okay, sorry for that delay. My recorder kinda had a little fit. So let's get back to the race. I'm still in 16th, is it? It's 16th. So, as you could tell, I was doing good. I was making a very good recovery. Well, pretty decent recovery as I storm up the inside of all these cars, trying my best not to tap one of them too much. I got up into 11th, and I think this is now where I'm about to spin. Sadly, I go up to the outside knowing that even if I was going to be right on the edge, I still had more speed, so I could make the move stick. Back in the outside again, and the first yellow car I think we've seen in, I don't know, like 2 to 3 laps. Here I go again. I was kind of wide on the entrance to that braking zone that we were just at, but once I started braking, lined right back up. So I probably should have fixed my line, but I was still pretty good for there. Back down the straight, trying to make the most of my run through that other turn, even though it wasn't that brilliant. These cars have a rev line of 6,000 RPM, so even though it sounds like it's like 6,300, or yeah, 6,300, it really isn't. So here I am again, trying my hardest to make the most of the speed I have through the turn. My corner entry speed was higher than that of the AI, but midway I would level out. There we go. Oops, wrong way. So here is the other yellow car in 8th, doing pretty good. I was doing decent, but there was a lot of AI doing better than me, such as this battle here for what I believe to be 5th. Well, I guess you could say 5th and 4th, as the third car is still within decent striking distance of Dominic right here. So yeah, there was not a lot of blues finishing high up. So there was mostly just yellows, but I think, wasn't there another blue Viper? Oh, so that blue Viper we saw trying to fight for first earlier on must have had an accident or something, because he's now fallen way back. So now it's going to be a yellow, all yellow cars going to be on pole for this race. Wow, congratulations to them. That was a good race. Ooh! Well, apparently, a teammate's getting a bit testy. He wants to win. Let's see. I'll be honest, I've kind of forgotten how long this race is. I don't think it was 20 laps. If it was, though, I definitely made a decent recovery for 20 laps. But I'll tell you what, though, that Dominic's not going to catch up now, though. Apparently, the car behind though is really falling back in the midst of this battle here. You can see all the other yellow cars and Dominic's there. The one lonely yellow car is out of the battle entirely. Third place is still kind of secure, but first and second are roaring off in the lead. Here is the last place guy. I had definitely moving myself up, so thankfully I wasn't where this poor chap is, so that wasn't too bad. Apparently, though, he is. His distance to the cars in front of him is a little bit... The gap is a bit bigger than I thought. If the two cars in front are catching up to the cars in front of him, he might be left for dead afterwards. Oh, he's closing up in the braking zone! Yeah. Oh, yes, now he's really closed. That was me. Yeah, I had spun, I believe, earlier on, so I basically dumped myself all the way back. Oh, yeah, this was a 20-lap race. And so I basically had just 4 laps to get back to where I was. So now I was going as fast as I can. You can see I'm slightly over-revving the car here, trying my hardest to catch up. Taking more speed than I had done the entire race. Kind of getting a bit squirrely on the outside. As you can see, now I was really fighting to try and at the very least get to 15th. I sort of messed myself up on the apex there, but I straightened myself out. I had a big gap to make up, and I knew that at this rate, even if I had passed the cars ahead, there was no guarantee that I'd be able to catch up to the cars ahead of them, because they were even further ahead. In fact, I believe there's only one, as far as I can tell, there's only one car ahead of them, which wouldn't have granted me a lot more places than I would have hoped. Here I was hoping to go around the outside, but they were just too far, and I almost messed up my race again, but made it up in the braking zone and tried to go wide. I almost messed myself up again, decided to dive to the inside instead. Kinda bumped him a little bit wide here, but he recovered. So at this rate, the car behind me was doing pretty well to keep up, but I knew that once we got into the next corner, he was going to be gone. Nowhere in sight. So at this rate, made it up to 22nd place, which wasn't brilliant, but at that rate, I ran wide because I was just going too fast, because I was pushing the car so hard on my recovery drive to catch up. I got a bit squirrely there, but I made it work. A little bit of a slide there, just a tiny twitch, but sorted it out. Trying my hardest to catch up, but it is just not happening. So the car in first has totally ran away with that. I'm surprised. The guy in second is... Ooh, man. He would have a lot of time to make up if there was enough time for him to catch up, but... Yeah. Yellow guy's totally dominated. So again, still in 22nd, so... The first AI was... Well, the guy in first was Mark, and then the guy second to last was me. I wasn't going to be second to last for long, but I still wouldn't have placed very impressively either way. Here's where I ran a little bit wide, trying my hardest. But thankfully, that put me wide through the turn, so I could kind of get... I almost could have gotten the power I needed to down, but I hit the apex a little bit too harshly. Now the car on the inside is going to try and make it. At this rate, I was really, really trying to push the car in the straights as much as I could, so that he wouldn't have a chance to get up to the side, to get up beside me, because I knew if he did, that would compromise my line into this turn, because I'd have to go a little bit wider into it, pushing me slightly further away from the apex than I wanted to be. See, even now, even with all my pushing, I was still having trouble catching up again, pushing a little bit too hard, ran a little bit wide. Now the guy behind me is caught up again. Now I only had 1 lap, I believe, to catch up. There was quite a group ahead of these cars, even though there was a gap, and a lot of them going too wide. Wow. Ooh, he's gonna try and make it. Nope, didn't stick. So had I gone I think if I had gone just fast enough, but honestly, I was pushing as hard as I could. I couldn't have gone any faster. If I was fast enough, I probably would have been able to take most of this lot in one turn. Is that me? Oh yeah, that... Hold on, let's back up a second. I want to know if me diving up like that. Yep, that was me. Apparently I caught up enough. Wow. So there we go. I hit the apex a little bit, got a little bit squirrely, trying not to mess up my race again. I got up to 18th place, trying my hardest to make one more big move. I was trying my hardest to catch up so I could dive up the inside again like I did quite impressively on that other turn. Here we go. This time I was close enough, and I kind of cut the corner a little bit to make it stick. I ran a little bit wide, and then I sort of lost the place almost immediately. Made myself fit into there, and I got another place. Now I am 16th. Ooh, I went a little bit wide there. Lost a few places again. But even with that, I knew I'd still be able to hold it because I was faster through this turn no matter what they did. So I managed to keep my place. Ooh, even though I got a little bit sideways, a little bit wide. Tried my hardest to make up enough time through this turn. I wanted to go wide, but I couldn't because there was another car already trying to do what I was doing. So we went 3 wide very briefly through that turn, which was a fairly risky move by me. But now I was in 13th place, but I went a little bit wide. Almost ruined it. I'm telling you, I was pushing this. If there were tires and fuel wear on, the tires would be dead by now. Cut up the inside, made the move stick. I went a little bit wide. I got a little bit sideways, but was saved by the car on the inside. Sadly, I had lost a place, but I'm still close enough to make a move on the next turn. So now we were doing the NASCAR thing and drafting each other like crazy. The drafting worked, and I was hoping I'd get that little bit better run to be side by side down the straight. I got a little bit better run so I could cut up on the corner. So at this rate, I had made it into 13th place after having a massive off, I believe, one lap left? Huh, maybe it was 22 laps. A bit longer than I thought. Either way, though, I saved my race. I saved my race then by just driving the wheels off this car. In fact, I don't doubt I would have done. Cut the corner a little bit because I misjudged it a little. I misjudged it just a tad because I was trying to go fast. And then I messed myself up entirely because I didn't expect him to brake, and then that happened and he went wide. I apologize to that AI. To be honest though, amazingly, astonishingly, I still kept my place. So I kept fighting hard, outbraked myself a little bit into that turn, but made up a place. Now I was on the inside, but not in a very good position because he was just going to cut up. He was just going to cut to the inside again, and now I had to run and try and catch up, and then now I do the NASCAR thing and draft again to try and get my speed back so I could get a good run into the next turn. It was working, but I was wondering if I had enough track left to put my front end where he was, and thankfully I did. Wow, still in 13th place? Oh, right. I remember it because the race finished by now, so everyone was leaving, so no race change. That was just a sort of last lap sort of thing. I guess like a formation lap. So, overall, I made it into 13th place for that race, which was pretty good for me, especially because I messed up at least, ooh man, I messed up 4 times? It was bad. So, the guy in first was, oh wait, I'm going the wrong way. Sorry, my bad. The guy in first is, unsurprisingly, a yellow car, because the yellows dominated the pole. Where is the next blue car? So, the next blue car was 7th. Not even top 5, so not a very good showing from us. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this new series, and I will see you all in the next race.